All right, everybody, welcome to another Tie Guy Trivia Night. Tonight we've got Joey Foster, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Tony Altmeyer, we got Mike Fort, and we got the USC analyst Tim Prangley. How we doing tonight, guys?
It's good.
We're gonna make that stick now, Tim. We're gonna
Oh, for the love of God.
we're gonna get you that press pass for this fall.
Well, everyone else is working on it, so you might as well try too.
Yeah, I mean you ought to get one.
We're working on it.
I'll call the athletic department and ask if my favorite reporter is going to be on the sideline this year, Tim Pranglin.
Yeah. Let me write that on. Tim who? Yeah. Oh, the guy that works at concessions? Yeah.
He's a season ticket holder. We don't want to lose one of them.
They're filling up.
Well, and think about it. Not only do you have a coach now, you got a good team now, but with next year you guys going to the Big Ten, it's going to be really hard to get tickets for the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, yeah, we play Wisconsin, and I think we play and then some other teams in the Big Ten. Mike, do we play anyone else in the Big Ten? I know we have a big game against Wisconsin in 2024.
Oh, I feel sorry for Wisconsin then.
Any other decent teams? There's some.
Well, I
there's
don't
some
know. Wisconsin might be
beaters in the Big Ten to come out to play.
Wisconsin might be good then.
Well, I got bad news for them. They're going to play USC. They're going to play Alabama. They play Alabama in 2024.
Oof. We start
Yeah.
with LSU.
So that's a pretty good. I mean, for Wisconsin, that's a pretty good. I mean, if they're playing you, they're playing us. Odds are they're going to play either Michigan or Ohio State. One of them two they got to play.
Mm-hmm.
Then you figure they're playing probably Iowa. Maybe in Iowa, I'm not saying that they're great, but they're a good team. A rival of them. They might get a Penn State. That might be a tough year for Wisconsin.
Well, I'm not going to cry for them because we're playing Michigan, LSU, Notre Dame. Am I leaving one out?
Jeez.
Nebraska.
Well,
I had to throw that one in there.
but I'm telling you, that's gonna be pretty nasty. Is playing those three. Penn State at Penn State. I know it's missing,
Oh,
I know
that'll be a
it's
good
missing
game.
one. So
Look
we're
up
playing,
West
we're playing
Virginia's
LSU,
future.
Notre Dame, Penn State, and Michigan. that's our schedule.
Look at West Virginia's future at non-conference opponents. It's crazy.
But that Penn State on the road ought to be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Is it in like October?
That I don't know.
Because I doubt they'll have you up there. And I'm not saying the weather's going to be a deal, but you get into October and a night game, that could be a real interesting matchup because that'll give Penn State. I think you beat them a lot better if you play them early in the year, but as the year goes on, Penn State usually gets better until they play Ohio State for some reason.
They'll probably get beat up, dinged up, injuries. But don't worry, we'll get our first cold weather. It's almost guaranteed because in 2025, for our road games, we have both Minnesota and Wisconsin. So the odds of us getting one of those two sometime in November is pretty good.
Well, Wisconsin plays in a dome though.
Oh?
Huh?
What?
Neither
Oh,
one.
oh wait,
Dome.
Yeah,
You were
Wisconsin?
thinking Minnesota. Minnesota used to play.
yeah,
in
they
the
use a Metrodome. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot the roof collapsed on that thing.
Yeah. No, they play outside now.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Gonna be cold.
All right, guys, let's do one quick round of trivia. And I will let each of you pick whichever card you want. We got Genesis 2, 3, 4, 5, and All American. And we'll see who can get the most right on one card. Joey, we will start with you. What card would you like?
I guess the two.
All right, Genesis 2, here we go. Geography. What country does a car bearing the designation IL come from?
Um, IL. Jeez. I don't know. Israel.
It is Israel.
Good one.
All right, here's your entertainment. What Canadian sergeant was Richard Simmons' most famed 1950s TV role?
I remember that. Ask me that question again.
What Canadian sergeant was Richard Simmons' most famed 1950s TV role?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get this one. Um, I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Is that
Does
the one
anybody
from,
know?
with the private pile? Is that the guy?
I was gonna Gomer Pyle.
No,
Oh.
No.
no. And Joey, I'm surprised you missed this one. It was Sergeant Preston.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah, I figured you'd know that one.
yeah.
All right, here's your history. What was President Grover Cleveland the first to do to a woman while in office?
Whoa. Whoa.
He was Clinton before Clinton was cool. I mean,
Married? I don't know.
The opposite.
what
Oh,
did you say,
Lord.
Joey?
I said married.
Yep, he married her. He was the first one to get married while in office.
Oh, I thought he divorced in office.
No.
Oh, the scandal back then? No way.
yeah, back then that would have killed him. That would have been political suicide back then.
Yeah.
Should
All
have
right.
ended up at the bottom of a lake somewhere, more likely.
I want to give a shout out. We got Search, we got Mr. Duggar, and we got John in the audience. What's up,
I
everybody?
do that.
An all-star cast.
All right, here's your arts and literature, Joey. What Shakespeare character says, out, damn spot?
Macbeth, Lady Macbeth.
Lady Macbeth is correct. All right, science and nature. What piercing boon to sailors in foggy waters did Robert Fallas power his steam or power with steam? What piercing boon to sailors in foggy waters did Robert Fallas?
I guess it'd be a foghorn.
That was a foghorn.
Well, good stuff.
All right, here's your sports and leisure. What property is called Mayfair in the British version of Monopoly?
Man, I don't have any idea. I can I pass one?
Nope, since we're only doing one card.
Okay, I
we're
don't
on
know
to
then.
one.
I don't have any idea.
All right, does anybody know?
I can guess though. Let me just guess. Since I would say boardwalk.
It is Boardwalk.
Because I figured Boardwalk or Park Place.
Yep. All right, Joey, the only one you missed was entertainment. You missed
Okay.
Sergeant Preston. So you got 5 out of 6 on it, too. That is good. All right.
That's a hard card though.
That
They
was-
said
was
the
hard.
foghorn.
That was
I
very
just wasn't
hard.
thinking. I don't believe.
That was about an 8 out of 10 for difficulty.
all right, Tony, we got Genesis 2, 3, 4, 5, and All American. Which one would you like?
I'll try All American.
Yes, I
All
don't
right.
take 2. That was impossible card.
Here we go with your All American. What rocker liked his peanut butter and banana sandwiches grilled?
Ah,
Where's Mark
Hey.
at?
I have no idea.
you got a big hint just now from Mike.
David Lee Roth. I don't know.
Oh, who does Mike love?
Mark Rogers is a big Elvis fan.
Yeah, that was Elvis Presley. He ate peanut butter and banana sandwiches grilled.
Oh, okay.
David
All right.
Roth has left the building.
Here's your entertainment.
How was
an-
that not entertainment? Okay, sorry, go on.
You'll get this one. What animated fowl's first words on screen were Who, me? Oh no, I got a bellyache.
What animated what?
Fowl. Fowl.
Like a chicken?
Like a bird, yeah. Like a bird, not a chicken, but a bird.
Roadrunner? I don't know what
No, they didn't talk.
what?
Roadrunner doesn't talk.
He says
I
beep
don't know.
beep.
I don't know chickens who talk.
Tony, you're gonna be mad at yourself.
Who is it?
Donald Duck.
Oh,
Oh.
jeez.
I didn't know that counted as foul. Okay.
All right. Well, this one is gonna stop you. This is gonna stop your
What about Puddles the
Tuesday.
duck?
Puddles. There you go. All right. Here's your history. Who flies aboard Air Force Two?
The vice president.
That is the vice president.
Okay, the woohoo. Thankfully.
Here is your place question. What state did T. Coleman DuPont build a 4-lane highway costing $40 million through in 1911?
Delaware?
It was Delaware. Sports and leisure. What bowler finished atop the PBA Tour money list?
I literally don't know a single bowler's name.
Does anybody know a bowler from the 80s?
The only bowler I know is Pete Weber.
My buddy Steve, but he
I
doesn't.
would say Jason Belmont.
No, it was
Jason
Earl
Belmont.
Anthony.
Earl Anthony.
Sorry, I just didn't want to waste your time having to read the whole question.
All right, here's your last one, Tony. Here's wild card. What word did Ann Landers begin using instead of protection in columns starting in 1979?
Condom?
It is condom.
Woohoo. All right, I got two.
No, you got three because you
I got three.
You got Vice President, Delaware,
That's right.
and condoms. Good job.
There we go. I'll take it.
Tonight, that might be a winning score.
Oh,
might have been
Joey
hard.
just
It might
got
have
5.
No, I don't count.
Yeah, but his don't count.
Oh,
All right, Tim, which one of these would you like?
Let's do All American as well.
Here we go. All American. People. Who was the heaviest U.S. president?
Is it Taft?
yep.
It was Taft. Good job. Here's your entertainment. How old was Adam West when he started playing Batman on TV before 37-year-old Michael Keaton did it in the movies?
How old was Adam West when he first started?
When he started playing Batman on TV.
And what was the second part of that?
Before 37-year-old Michael Keaton did it in the movies.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this one's going to suck. This one isn't really a fair question.
I don't know. 37?
There you go, Tim. Good job.
That would have been my guess.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I was
nobody
thinking
can
too.
guess. Why else put that in there? I don't know.
Well, that definitely was a Mike Fork question. Those are usually the questions Mike likes to get for some reason.
Actually, Mike Fork would have guessed that one right because I figured you have 37's got to be can't be a coincidence that they mentioned that.
Yeah. Or it would have been 36. I would have used a 50-50 just to say maybe it was a year younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, here's your history question. What newspaper excerpted the Pentagon Papers in June 1971?
Washington Post.
No.
Tony, tell me the right answer.
It was the Times, and then the Times stopped, and the Post picked it up, and the Post fought it.
Yeah, it was the New York Times.
You know what? He should get it though for the Post, because the Post is actually the ones who really went with it. New York Times pussied out.
That is true. Because they started, but then they did go to the Post.
Yeah.
All right. Tim, are you ready for places?
Sure.
What's Detroit's nickname?
By the way, I say pussied out. I believe there were court orders involved, so I'm not criticizing the Times.
See what Tony said. That's where we go to Tony.
All right. This one is priceless for you, Tim. What Detroit's nickname Motown short for?
Motor City.
I'll give it to you. It's Motortown.
Well, okay, Motor Town.
Yeah. All right. Sports and leisure.
See, that's why I like you, Ty Guy. Whenever I screw up, you still give me the points.
It's like horseshoes. You're close enough, right?
All right.
All right. Sports and leisure. What Boston Red Sox catcher quibbed, "I don't think I should be asked to play when the temperature drops below my age."
Boston Red Sox catcher?
Yeah, who's the most famous? And remember, these cards were 1993. So who's the most famous Red Sox catcher that you can think of in your time?
Is it Fisk?
It is Fisk, Carlton Fisk.
Woo.
All right.
Did he end up with the White Sox?
He played a few places, but yeah,
Well,
White Sox is
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
them.
in the end, that's what I was
Played
getting to.
2 years at the White Sox, I remember.
Yeah.
And did he or did he not also play 1 or a half a season with the Twins?
Oh, I
He
don't
might
know
have.
that.
Because I know he played for the White Sox. Because speaking of Tiger Stadium, I saw him. The last game I saw was Tigers versus White Sox, and I saw Carlton Fisk play.
I watched him. I watched him play the Angels. I remember that.
All right, here's your wild card. Don't overthink this one. What TV band leader often mistakenly referred to appealing women as appalling? If you get this right, you'll be 6 out of 6 on this.
Yeah,
one.
I know. And I probably should. Is it Lawrence Welk?
You just went 6 out of 6, Tim.
Woohoo!
Well, with an asterisk. What was it? What, Motor City instead of Motor Town? Well, hey, that's All American twice.
That's All American twice.
Hey.
That is true.
I'm an All American kid.
All right, Mike, which one you want to tie him on? 2,
Shit.
4, 5, or All American?
Oh, well, I'll go All American. I'll either get 1 out of 6 or at least 5 out of 6.
All right, here we go.
These are always hit or miss on me.
Okay, good luck.
Great.
Who's listed in the Hippies Handbook as the Hippie Pope?
Are you kidding
See,
me?
these are the cards you get, Mike. I get that one. You get this card.
Well, no offense, Mike, but that's why I said good luck. Because it don't start off easy for you.
The hippie John Paul II.
No, does anybody know?
No clue.
It would be Timothy Leary.
Oh, not an actual pope then.
No, not an actual Pope. All right,
The Pope of Haight Ashbury.
here's your entertainment. Who was laying asphalt the week before he was cast in Beverly Hills 90210?
Priestley.
You were close.
No,
The other
It
one.
started with the B, but it wasn't Priestley. Anybody know?
Isn't one of them
Yeah.
dead?
Oh, Luke Perry then.
Yep, Luke Perry.
Eh.
All right, here's your history. What W word appeared 9 times in a 1987 Newsweek story about presidential candidate George Bush?
Wait, say that again?
What W word appeared 9 times in a 1987 Newsweek story about presidential candidate George Bush?
What W word?
I remember that.
87?
Yep,
37?
1987. When he was running as a presidential candidate, Newsweek did a story, and they used this W word 9 times to describe him.
Oh. No, never mind.
I love Search's answer. Watergate. Yeah, it wasn't Watergate.
Yeah. Honestly, that was the first word I was saying. It's the only W word, unless it's his middle name Walker. Pass. I can't think of anything.
Does
Oh,
anybody
man.
remember?
Yeah, I remember. I remember. It was Wimp.
Yep, they called him a wimp.
Yeah.
9
Right,
times.
Oh.
Yeah, they said they called the article was called Wimp Factor or something.
Yep.
Hmm.
All right, here we go. Places. What's the national hub of Amtrak?
I am so glad I didn't get this card. Jeez, I'd be 0 for 4 right now.
This is one of
Actually-
the cards. This is one of the cards that Tim likes to say is all cards are not created equal.
Yeah, that's the truth.
St. Louis.
Oh man, I figured you know that one for sure.
I'll say Denver,
What do you say, Joey?
Chicago.
It
Yeah.
is Chicago. Yep. All right. Here's your sports and leisure. What team did the San Francisco 49ers, Jerry Rice, catch his 101st career touchdown pass against?
Dallas Cowboys.
Nope. The Miami Dolphins.
Jeez.
All right. Here is your wild card. Close your eyes and picture this. You'll get it right. How many sections were the first TV dinner trays divided into in 1953?
4.
No, they didn't come with dessert back then.
Oh, just 3 then.
It just was 3.
Well, I think I'm batting 0 for, aren't I?
you
Mike
got to
Ford,
go for on that one.
Mike Ford gets the fancy ones with desserts in it. Shoot, your parents must have loved you.
He was part of the 1%ers, wasn't he?
You're one of those rich
Oh,
kids,
yeah.
aren't you, Mike. You're one of those
Yeah.
rich kids.
I got the hard as a rock peach cobbler.
we had the frozen microwave burritos during the week, and then if we were lucky for church Sunday, we'd get the frozen turkey deals.
Oh man, that was like Thanksgiving, wasn't it? When you got the turkey deal, you got
Like
turkey.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I remember when you used to get the TV dinners and they had to go in the oven for 45 minutes, and today you just throw them in the micro for 2 minutes and they're ready to go.
Yeah, because like my mom would say, go get you a TV dinner for lunch. I'm like, Mom, it takes an hour to make it. Yeah, man.
Mm.
Nah, not now though.
I did hear something really funny today. You guys might appreciate this, but this guy was talking. You know how older people like to say, well, they put a man on the moon, but they can't blah, 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 or they put a man on the moon, and he said, I finally got tired, and he said, it was my dad that got me. My dad the other day said, they can put a man on the moon, but they can't make a quiet leaf blower. And he's like, Dad, the people who are putting people on the moon are not the same people who are making the leaf blowers. So just because we can do one, don't mean we can do the other.
Well, I want them to find the person that can make the quiet leaf blower.
Yeah. For that Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. neighbor who likes to mow.
Yeah. We were talking about going and hiding his edger.
There you go.
Me and the guy across the street. We're like, we're gonna break into his garage and hide that thing.
How come it is though? The one day a week you can sleep in, the neighbor always wants to do the yard work on that day.
It's worse. He does it on Sundays.
Wow. You ever just holler out the window, shouldn't you be at church?
Well, see, I'm the midday church kind of guy, not the
Oh, there
first
you
thing in
go.
the morning.
Yeah. All right. Tim, you got 6 out of 6. You're the winner.
Yay! Hold on a minute. I beat Joey, Tony, and Mike for it. See, the time I won before, I didn't have anybody that was that really wasn't these guys' league. But this truly shows you. It just all depends on which card you get. I got the card with Taft on it and
Yeah.
Motor City and
But here would be the ultimate question though. I wonder what the score would have been between you and Mike if I would have asked you both of your cards. How good would you have done honestly on his card, and how
I-
good would he have done on your card? You know,
I think I would have got 5 out of his 6. I think there was. I can't remember which one, but I think there was one I didn't know from his.
I don't think I knew any of the ones Mike just did. Did I? I don't think so.
I mean, you have to go through the questions again because I think there was one I didn't know.
well, Tim's answers was tap was the heaviest press.
I knew that one.
You got the 37 because you said you would have got that.
Yeah.
What about the newspaper, the Pentagon Papers? Would you know?
Oh, I actually,
Yeah.
hold on. Technically, I got that wrong though.
Yeah, but technically they did sell it to the Post, which is what Tony was saying, and the Post actually ran
Yeah,
it.
you need credit for the post.
The Times never did run it.
Well, because that's what I remember. That's when I hear that, that's what I think of is the Washington
Right.
Post.
Yeah, I would have had that one.
You would have got Motor Town.
Yeah, obviously.
You would have probably got Carlton Fisk, the Boston Red Sox catcher.
Actually, no. Actually, I was thinking. God, I can't remember who I was thinking. But I wasn't thinking Fisk. I was thinking somebody else, and I can't remember who. And what was the last one?
The last one was the band leader, Lawrence Welk.
Yeah, I got that one. Only because he's the answer for a lot of questions on Trivial Pursuit for some stupid reason.
He was pretty much the only band leader I could think of from that whole era. So that's all. And it better have been him, otherwise I was done.
And like your card, Tim might have got places with Amtrak, but I think you thought Denver first. Didn't
No,
you?
I said Denver first, but then that right away I realized Chicago. But
Okay,
I would've
so
said
you would have
Denver
got
first.
that one, and the last one. Would you have known the Denver trays had 3 instead of 4?
I don't know what I would guess. You know, that's one of those things. Now I've heard both answers. I don't know what I would said.
Right. Yeah, but
Ex-
in the old days, they just had, they had the little.
They had the
meat-
main one for the meat one, then they had like a one for like mashed potatoes, and then one for
One
like
for vegetables.
one
yeah.
for the-
corn or something. But
Yeah.
then I always remember there being a small one there in the middle for the like the cherry cobbler or the brownie or something.
Yeah. But that didn't come out until the late 60s. They didn't bring in desserts till the late 60s.
Well, I was born in the 70s, so. Yeah. Bad card for me. It happens.
Exactly what always come down to. When you get, if it's a card, it comes down to the card you get.
Yeah.
I think I would have got like 4 out of 6 on Mike's, but on Tim's, I don't think I knew but 3 of them.
It is funny, though, how you get certain cards and certain questions to some people are easy, some aren't. And like Tim said, a lot of it, 90% of it is luck. You got to get the right card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tim usually gets screwed on the 6th question. He can shoot out of the gate 5 of 5, and the 6th one is always
There's always that one.
One
But
of the
that's
stupid
most
questions.
people in most cards, isn't it? You know, you get on a
how
run.
many,
and-
how many inches of water in a bathtub when you play Monopoly.
What is the craziest question you guys have heard so far?
I think that was it. Remember the one?
That was one of
So
them.
water is there when you're going for the record in Monopoly bathtub Monopoly. That was like,
Yeah, that would if that was for any kind of stakes, that would really piss me off.
well, and didn't you have one? And I can't remember it now, but was it you or was it D4 who had the question about the lemon in college lemon rolling event? How many lemons
Yeah.
are used?
Oh, that's D4.
What
probably.
the hell?
That was
the-
actually a question.
That was an
It sure
actual question. I was like, what the hell? And it was
Wow.
actually a college sport that had national championships in the 80s.
Hey, Tony, Foster, and Fort, and anybody that's in the chat, I can't see the chat. Who's interested in going to Vegas for a Saturday? It's during sometime during the season.
Sometime
During the season? I don't go anywhere during the season.
We thought about going and just getting there on Friday and watching the games all together.
In
Well, Mike,
Vegas?
do you go to Michigan home games?
Not since I moved to Alabama.
Yeah, that might make it difficult, huh?
Yeah. Well, now I almost saw a Michigan game because I lived in Dallas for a while there, and Michigan played Florida in the kickoff game in AT&T Stadium, but I ended up moving away from Dallas like 6 months prior, so I got denied that.
I gotta be honest though, I always heard how once you're on the East Coast, it's so easy to go to all the different states and stuff and move around. You know, even like Michigan and Midwest-ish. You know, well, Michigan, Midwest. Because I remember we were in Tennessee, and we drove up to Chicago, and that was like in one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've been to
Yeah,
multiple
through
Big Ten
Indianapolis
stadiums.
and then up into Chicago. We were in Nashville. You know, we were in Nashville that morning. We took off, and we were in Chicago by afternoon, I think.
See, but that's the problem with
Oh, yeah.
the Pac-12. I mean, you could get to Phoenix pretty easy. You get, but I mean, you going to Washington, that's not an easy road trip. You know,
Heck no. Just driving up to the Bay Area is a hell of a hike. Up to San Francisco was a hell of a drive.
well, like I was telling you, I can get from Tuscaloosa, Alabama to Sarksville, Mississippi to watch it. Alabama-Mississippi State game faster than you can drive from your house to the Rose Bowl to watch UCLA, USC, and it's in the same,
Oh, you can get to the Rose Bowl. It's getting out of the Rose Bowl that is an absolute freaking nightmare. It is like there's like two. I'm not kidding you guys. There's two ways out of that place. You know, it's quite a nightmare.
Well, if we can get you a press pass, maybe they'll helicopter you out like they do Herb Street.
Well, we'll let them know that I'm a football analyst now.
That's right, you're the football analyst.
And if I'm a football analyst, that might open some doors for me.
There you go. You just want on the sideline for the year. That's all you care about.
That's all I want. I just want sideline passes.
Now, also though, that'll also get you into the press conference after the game to hear what Riley has to say.
Yeah, that's how I really screwed up. We were there. We did have sideline passes, and we were up in the press box, and they made the announcement for everyone to go downstairs for the press conference. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. But then as soon as I realized, I'm like, yeah, I did. Why the hell didn't I do that? You know, and I didn't do it. I was so mad at myself. He who hesitates.
Yep.
Hopefully I'll get another chance sometime.
I'll be right back.
Well, I'm speaking of being.
Just don't go to the Titanic.
Yeah, don't go to the Titanic.
What?
So Tim might not have heard. Did you guys hear about the Titanic?
You mean the boat?
Yeah, no, the one that sunk.
movie.
Yeah. Tony, you explain it to him.
Yeah, there's a company that take for $250,000 takes groups of tourists down to the wreck of the Titanic, and their sub vanished. So
Oh, holy
Titanic
crap.
claimed 5 more victims,
Holy crap!
which to some extent is kind of it's stupid. That's a really dangerous thing to go do. There's a reason that they don't put regular people in the subs like that anymore.
Wow! Holy
But
crap!
yeah, it's pretty
Although-
stupid.
I had to laugh though when they made the movie Titanic. I was sitting there going, because unfortunately my ex-wife at the time dragged me to the movie, and I'm sitting here going, we're all paying good money to watch a movie where we all know how it's going to end.
We know how this thing's ending.
Spoiler alert! It crashes.
I mean, we all know it's going to crash. They're all going to die, or
They
most
should
of them are going
they
to
should have
die.
Hollywood ended it though. They did a Hollywood ending. It would have been perfect. Everyone's so we get some guy goes down there in a welding suit and just goes and fixes the little hole, and everyone lives.
Well, that was the interesting part. Was whenever the beginning when they were doing the, I don't know what you want to call it, the salvaging thing. The actual storyline I couldn't give a shit about.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was too high. Oh wait. I mean, I was spiritually high. I was on a spiritual high when I saw
Spiritual
that
high.
movie. Yeah, peyote, I think it was. All right, I'm gonna go be a football analyst.
All right, you go be an analyst, Tim. Thanks for coming.
All right, thanks.
Have a
guys.
good one.
Later.
Though, you think about that. Do you want to get in a little sub, because it's small, go 2.5 miles underwater?
Yeah,
and know
it's
that if
an 8-hour
anything
trip
happens, you're
too.
done?
Yeah, no thanks. Well, and I don't think anybody's going to anymore anyway.
No, this will pretty much end them
Yeah.
making money by doing this, because the government's going to be like, no, we're not going to.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
Now, my question is though, since the Navy went out and helped in this and that,
Do
you
they
think
send them the
they'll
bill?
send them a bill? That's my question. Do you send
Yeah.
them a bill? Because I mean, they're making $250,000, so yeah, they should pay for it.
Well, I mean, the other question is I don't know what kind of assets they're diverting to help for this thing, but yeah, I have to think that it's not a good situation for them right now. Anyway, hey, well, I got to run because I got to help with the other thing. But thank you
All right,
guys. This was
Tony,
fun.
thanks for coming, man.
Talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
Yeah, no, that's terrible though, man. That they lost their
Then-
son.
Then there's just the three of us, huh? We didn't get to hear my answer. We was talking about maybe going to Vegas.
Yeah, no, we're thinking about. Well, here's what we thought. It's the cheapest place to go. I mean, I don't care where you are in the country. You can fly to Vegas cheaper than any other hub,
Is it-
which be around.
Is it still cheap?
Yeah, it's still cheap. Well, it's cheaper than anywhere. You know, I mean, if we
Okay.
decided to go to Dallas or blah blah blah, you know, somewhere. One, Vegas is the cheapest place to travel to. Two, you're going to get the cheapest rooms.
There's nothing cheap to fly to from West Virginia.
Well,
I
that's
promise
true.
you. There's nothing. I mean, a flight from West Virginia to Vegas is probably $600 or $700.
Now, are you still making it next month?
Yeah, as far as we know, yeah, everything's good still. She goes and sees her doctor sometime this week, but we don't project any changes. So it's looking good.
Mike, you should be wanting to go back to Michigan. Come over next month. Come to Iowa on July 16th.
Well, actually, I am going up to Michigan.
Around July 16th?
Yeah, actually, is the weekend before. I'm going to New Orleans over well, the weekend before the 4th of July. Then I'm going up to Michigan the weekend after the 4th of July.
Are you going to be driving home around the
Oh,
fall?
I'm not driving. Shit.
Oh, you're flying?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where I'm from, this is a 1,000-mile drive. So I'm only going to be up there for like 2 days.
Oh, okay.
That's way too long to drive.
I forget I don't work, so I like to drive and just.
I'm gonna pop
Go
out of here,
slow.
guys. I'm gonna pop out of here.
All right, Joey.
I gotta go do something, but if you're still around in about 15, 20 minutes, I'll join you again.
All right, man.
What time you got? Yeah,
It's straight
I'm
up
not- yeah, 10
11?
o'clock here.
10 your time. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, there's a few of us going to get together July 16th here.
Yeah, so if I'd have driven, I could probably get away with it.
Right.
'Cause-
No, that's why I was asking if you were driving, because I mean, yeah, it's out of the way, but it's not super far out of the way, you know.
No, I've been to Iowa before. I what's that?
Come to Iowa and check out the corn and
Yeah. Well, I very barely went into Iowa. I was seeing somebody at the time, and she had family that lived technically in Wisconsin, but it was so far west of Wisconsin that you could barely tell where Wisconsin ended and Iowa began.
right.
I mean, I'm trying to think. It was like around I think it's like around the Eau Claire area.
Eau Claire, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty far. Like that's very East Iowa, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's right on the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Now, if I
Mhm.
remember right, and there used to be a TV show, American Pickers.
Never heard of it.
There's two guys that go around and they buy old junk off of people and they resell it. And if I remember right, I think that show, I think they were from Eau Claire, Iowa, if I remember right. I haven't seen that show or even heard of that show in about 10 years, though.
Yeah, because for some reason I think she was pretty close to Eau Claire because I remember, like I said, she was literally, she was in Wisconsin, but she was right on the Wisconsin-Iowa border, and I think Eau Claire was pretty close to where she was, or where they were, I should say. She was from around where I was, but her family was like in that area. So, I mean, I mean, I stepped briefly into Iowa territory, but
Right.
like I said, I'm not sure how much it counted.
But you get over to that part of Wisconsin, and they got some good triple A or triple D3 Whitewater.
I was
Is
gonna
it
say
called? It's there.
Whitewater, man. Oh,
Three.
I was thinking Mankato, but that's Minnesota.
And they got one that begins with an L too, but I can't think of the name, like Lamar, something. But yeah, they got some good smaller football over in that part of southwestern Wisconsin.
Like I liked. I went to a AAA baseball game in Kalamazoo. I actually kind of like. I'm not much of a baseball. I grew up playing baseball, and I liked baseball growing up, not so much as an adult. But I always like AAA games because it was always really good games. But the best part was tickets were like dirt cheap. I mean, you
Now-
can go see a AAA game for like $5-6.
Have you heard of the Savannah Bananas?
Sounds familiar for some reason. Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah. There's a guy from Ohio, and he had a team, and he wanted to relocate. And he was in Savannah, and he told the guy, he said, look, I know that the Mets play here and that, but if they ever leave, give me a call. I'd be interested in this stadium for a team. So they called him because the Mets pulled out. And so he put in I think it was a AA team is what he had. Well, they won like 3 out of 6 titles. And then he decided that he didn't want to be associated with pro baseball. And he come up with a game called Banana Ball. And they got different rules. Okay, so if like you hit the ball foul and somebody catches it, it's still an out. They got different rules and this and that. But what it is they have a team that they travel with, and they do play other teams, but they have a team that they travel with. And it's kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. They put on a show, and they play innings. Every inning, you win an inning. So if you score 10 runs in the first inning, but you don't score the next 3, you'll lose 3 innings to 1, So it's how many innings you win. It's not a total game. The game only goes on for 2 hours. So after 2 hours, the game's done. But you ought to YouTube and watch a few of the videos. They are funnier than hell. And it's an entertaining game. It's, because baseball, the problem with baseball is a lot of times there's a lot of dead time at a baseball game.
Oh, yeah.
It's really slow. And where this here is more like a Harlem Globetrotters where it's fast. They do dances. If somebody hits a home run, all the players run into stands and high five people. And, it's entertaining and it's fun for the fans. They got their own little band. You know how like baseball and that they have dancing girls? Well, the Bananas have what they call the Nana Bananas. Their dancers are in their 60s and 70-year-olds and out there dancing. It's just all for fun, and But if you go to it in Savannah, tickets are like $70.
Wow.
But what's cool is the concessions are free. So it's all you can eat, all you can drink. So you're not paying, like you go to a ball game, charge you $5 for a pop. And no, it's all included in the ticket price. And then after the game, they do like a tailgate where the players, go outside the stadium and they mingle with the fans and that and talk to them and sign autographs. And it's actually really kind of a cool event.
Oh yeah, I mean, as long as like I said, if you can get dinner and drinks with it, and have a day of it, okay, that might be worth $70.
Well, yeah, because if you get a couple hamburgers, a pop, and a popcorn, hell, that costs you $30 at most parks. And like I said, most times you're going to pay. It's hard to get to any game today for less than a $50 bill.
Yeah.
So
Like I said, when I went to baseball, like I said, I never went to baseball games as an adult because, like I said, I mostly was followed baseball as a kid. But like I said, I used to get in the Tiger Stadium for. Sometimes I'd go for like if I didn't have school that day, I'd get in for like a early afternoon game, like a 1:30. It'd be like $3.
Oh yeah.
Shows how old I am.
See, and everybody would make fun of me because I lived in uh, Arizona for 10 years, and the company I worked for, I got to go to baseball games a lot. But I always went to the hockey because at the time, and this is like 2005 to 2010, I could go see the Coyotes, and they had tickets $10, and with the $10 ticket, you got a hot dog, a water, and a popcorn, and the ticket in the game for $10. It's like shit. You can't beat that.
Well, they were probably trying to get people in Arizona excited about hockey.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Because nobody down there really was hockey. So they were just trying to get people in, and so yeah, you could find people would sell them on the side. Hey. But the rule was you had to buy 4 at a time. So I always had, 3 buddies who always would go with me and this and that. But shit, for $10, you get to go to a hockey. And the thing I like about hockey the most is, you're in Alabama. Do you really want to go see Alabama play a 2 in the afternoon game in September with 99% humidity? You just sweat your ass off. Where in hockey, it's air conditioned. It's nice and cool.
Oh, yeah, so that was the other thing I was thinking. Like if you're in the desert heat, it's nice and cool there in the
exactly
hockey rink.
Yeah, so it's 100 degrees outside, but you sneak in there and it's nice and cool. And
yeah, sounds good.
I was actually really happy to see Las Vegas. They won the Stanley Cup this year. It's nice to see them win it.
Did they win?
Yeah, they've only been a team for 7 years. So,
they went to the Stanley Cup their first year, didn't they?
Did they go to the Cup or did they make the final or the conference finals? I couldn't remember if they made it the first year to the Stanley or if it was just the finals. But yeah, they had a hell of a first year.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there was like the first year. I mean, I think what I heard it was like the first time in any of the 4 major North American team sports that an expansion team on their first year went to the championship.
Yeah, because usually it takes 5 to 10 years for an expansion team to even.
Yeah, and if you're the Browns, it takes 50. Because I know that when I think Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl. How many years have they been in the league?
Was it 3?
I know it wasn't that many. It wasn't the first year, but I know it wasn't many. But they went to the Super Bowl. They gave the Patriots a good run.
Yeah, that was actually a really good Super Bowl.
I mean that was back when in most of the Patriots Super Bowls they were always close. It wasn't like the Niners. Every time the Niners went to the Super Bowl, they beat whoever it was by 50 points.
Well, I'm going to get rich one year because I always put $10 on the Lions and whoever's the worst team in the American to make the Super Bowl the next year. One year it's going to happen, damn it, because I tell you what, man, that'll pay a fortune if it ever comes in.
The opening line would probably be like 20,000.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to make good money on it. And that's why I always put $10 on it because it's one of them. It's a sucker bet, but eventually it's got to hit, right? I mean,
it wouldn't be this year. I think I saw like last month or so, whenever the NFL Super Bowl lines came out to win. I think the Lions were like the 7th favorite betting odds in Vegas, and it's weird because I grew up, the Lions have always been one of the long shots, and now they're actually one of the betting favorites this year. So apparently Vegas is thinking Detroit's got a year coming.
And they had some good team. What was the coach's name? Fonts?
Wayne Fonts. Well, they had Barry Sanders.
Yeah, and even before him, though, I mean, they had Sims was a good player. They had a couple good years with him. And, yeah, with Barry Sanders, they had a couple chances in that. But this team actually has players. They actually have a good team now.
Yeah, like I said, I want to say they're like 7th or 8th betting odds to win the Super Bowl this year, which, like I said, is kind of a surprise. But yeah, Vegas is high on Detroit this year, so I'd save your money.
Well, and you got Green Bay down,
Yeah, that helps.
Chicago's down,
Well,
and
Chicago's been
Minnesota
down.
don't look like a world beater. So I mean, they're kind of the odds-on favorite to win the division.
Man, I wouldn't know what to do seeing Detroit in the playoffs. I'd feel like I'm in some parallel universe.
Yeah, because it had to be, and I don't know for a fact because I don't keep as much track on the NFL since my Oilers up and left me. But I don't think Detroit has won the North since the '90s, have they?
I think they won sometime in the 2000s.
Did they? Okay.
I,
But yeah,
I,
I mean, that's a rare thing to have Detroit win it. That's not,
I think there was a time. I think it might have been when Aaron Rodgers was like really, really new.
okay. Yeah, when they got rid of Favre and went to Rodgers.
Yeah.
And then the Tigers had a couple stretches, but mainly in my lifetime, Detroit has either been the Red Wings or the Pistons in the late '80s, early '90s. That was who was winning championships in Detroit was those two.
Yeah, and the Pistons won it in was it 05, I think.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. They did win it in the 2000s.
Yeah, with Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace and Tayshaun Prince and Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups. That was actually a really good team. It kind of reminds me of the old San Antonio Spurs teams. They were all defense.
Right.
Offensively, they were pretty bad, but I mean, but that was those teams. Like if you scored 80 on them, you were in good shape.
Well, San Antonio was all defense, and then they had Robert Ory who would hit a three. And that was pretty much, they fed it inside to either the Admiral or to Tim Duncan, depending on if Admiral was there or not. But you had Ory bombing from three, and that was pretty much. And see, I was always Boston Celtic fan because I was a huge Larry Bird nut, and I never really liked the Pistons, but I always liked when the Celtics would play them because you knew fights were going to break out left and right. You know what I mean?
Well, everybody hated the Pistons.
But I liked it. I liked that they fought. I liked that they were scrappy. And yeah, you can say dirty or this and that, but it was definitely a different time then. I mean, because I tell people today, and they all think I'm crazy, but I don't know that LeBron James could live through the '80s.
Oh no, they'd have roughed him up. We got to figure they had a game plan because if you remember, the Pistons, they had what they called the Jordan rules
Oh yeah,
to basically counteract one man. I mean, they'd have done that to LeBron. They'd invented the LeBron rules.
yeah,
The only difference is that it might have been a little bit tougher because back then, when they were doing the Jordan was kind of a scrawny dude. This was before he put on
yeah.
a little
No,
bulk.
this is before he beefed up and actually, yeah, this is when he was all fly and.
Yeah, and you couldn't do that to LeBron James because he was basically a tight end in a basketball play.
Right. But still, the way he cries over these tippy-tap fouls, man, he would have hated the Pistons. They would have freaking... And that's what I liked about Larry Bird. Larry Bird, a lot of people don't realize this or that, but he wasn't scared to fight either.
Oh, no, he's generally considered one of the best shit talkers in basketball history.
Yeah, no, he could trash talk with the best of them. But, I mean, he didn't mind a good scrap now and then, and that's what I liked about the Celtics because at the time, you guys, Detroit was all rough and tumbly, but we had the Chief, we had, McHale, and, we weren't afraid to mix it up. Hell, I remember when the Celtics fought the Lakers and Rambis was looking for people to punch.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember when Kurt Rambis got pretty much clotheslined one time.
Oh, yeah, no, they freaking almost flipped him over, didn't they? He almost did a somersault.
Yeah, back in the 80s, an 80s hard foul is today's technical two.
Yeah, you're definitely kicked out of the game and you're going to
Or a
pay
flagrant two, I
fine.
mean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
The '80s was pretty much no blood, no foul.
Well, and that's what we always said on the playground. No blood, no bone, no foul. I mean, you come inside, you're going to get it. And I mean, you manned up, and today, shit, you just look at somebody wrong and they call a foul on you, and
Yep.
everything's a flagrant, and
That was a good time to be in Michigan and be a basketball fan because you transitioned from the bad boy Pistons to the Fab Five.
yeah.
So especially if you kind of like that, rough and tumble bad boy culture, because you went from, like I said, the bad boy Pistons, to the Fab Five. And they were all kind of crap talkers too. Jalen Rose especially.
And I've never been a Michigan fan. I mean, I don't make no beef about it, but I appreciated the Fab Five. I liked Chris Webber. I did. I liked Chris Webber. I liked him when he played pro. I had no problem with Jalen Rose. I mean, Jawan Howard. I mean, yeah, I appreciated what they did, and I think it's kind of sad that they didn't. Well, I think it's sad they called the timeout at the wrong possible time.
Yeah, I hate that.
Won, but I mean, they should have won. Legitimately, I feel they should have won 3 championships with the team they had.
Well, the thing is, Weber, Weber and Rose, went pro after their sophomore year, so they couldn't have 3.
No, that's what I'm saying though. If they would have stayed together, they should have won.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was back in the day, like in the '80s. In the '80s, everybody stayed. Hell, I mean, Olajuwon stayed for his senior year. Patrick Ewing stayed for his senior year. I think Jordan was kind of the outsider because he bailed after, I think, was his sophomore year?
Who did?
I think Jordan went pro after his sophomore year, didn't he?
No, he was a junior because he played 82, 83, and 84.
Oh, because I thought he was in the NBA at '84. Because I thought '84 was when he won the dunk contest with that, the one where he jumped from the free throw line. I thought that was the '84.
He got drafted in 84, and he won the 84-85 season.
Oh, okay. Well, what? Well, hold on.
He played with James Worthy in
Yeah,
82.
Yeah, Carolina won in '82.
Yeah.
Their
And he
in-state
was a
rival,
freshman.
their in-state rival NC State won in '83 because that was the one of the greatest upsets of all time when they beat Phi Slam and Jamma. '84 was Georgetown with Hoya Paranoia,
Yeah.
and '85 was when Villanova. The other great upset of the '80s was when Villanova beat Georgetown in '85.
Now, seeing I was always a dumb high school kid. I swear to God, Georgetown. I thought Georgetown was going to win a lot more. I mean,
They should have. God, they were great.
The teams they had. I mean, they had the coach, they had the players, they had the talent. They just
Well, that's the thing. There were a lot of great teams in that area that didn't. In that era, that didn't. I mean, I thought Louisville. Like I said,
Louisville.
I mean that was back when they were the Doctors of Dunk. God, they were a great team.
Well, and the team you mentioned, they got upset. Five Slamma Jamma. How the hell they didn't win?
Yeah, I think Phi Slam Jam is probably the best team not to win a national championship.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, if you played that game over 100 times, I bet they beat NC State 96, 97 times.
Yeah, they ain't gonna lose, but maybe one more time. Than yeah.
And they got lucky because they played in Albuquerque where it's like 20,000 elevation. Because I mean, if you saw the game, Olajuwon's over on the side with an oxygen.
Sucking air. Yeah, he was sucking air.
I mean, if they were trained their bodies to handle that altitude, NC State couldn't beat them.
Well, and NC State did the thing they had to. They slowed that game down, and
yeah, like I said, in fact, I always get a refresher because usually whenever the NCAA tournament's coming up, the ESPN has that 30 for 30 that Survive in Advance tells all
Yep.
about that story about NC State. So I really like those 30 for 30s at ESPN.
You know
Not
what?
all of them, but
Every 10 of them they do are really good. They have some really good topics, some really good shows.
yeah, I liked. Usually the ones I like are the football ones and the basketball ones.
Yep.
I like the football ones. Like the best it never was about Marcus Dupree, his time in Oklahoma. Then the Pony Excess. I'm talking about the SMU with the death penalty and
Oh yeah.
a couple others I can't think off the top of my head. And then they said my favorite basketball one was probably Survive in Advance.
Yeah, Survive in Advance was a good one. I hated the what was it, Lynn Bias? Man, he was
Oh yeah,
supposed to
without
be-
bias. Yeah.
He was supposed to be the next, that's just sad. That talented and just,
Just
die.
blew it up his nose.
Yep.
Well,
And we were talking about that, Henry Ruggs the third, Alabama's wide receiver who went to the Raiders, and
Oh yeah, I thought he was a tight end for some reason.
he decided to go speed driving one night drunk and killed somebody, and now just, what a waste. Some of these professional athletes, they throw it away for one night of partying or one stupid little move costs them their whole life,
Yep.
And I mean,
Well-
let's be honest, we've all done something stupid in our life. But
Not that
you
stupid.
can say I've never got in a car and drove 120 miles an hour in town, and
Well, that's what happened. You remember Gabriel Rivera? Gabe Rivera?
yep,
He played like what, a month for I think he played for the Steelers, wasn't it?
yep,
He played like a month and then totaled his car and paralyzed himself from the waist down. Ended his career, all because he got drunk and drove 300 miles an hour.
yeah. I don't get it. I mean, they're on top of the world, and to just do something stupid like that. But that happens a lot when a kid don't have much his whole life, and the first time he's able to have fast cars, fast women, and go out and do
Yep.
a little drinking, and I mean, you don't think about the consequences. And
Yep, and that actually reminds me of another 30 for 30 I liked. It was called Broke. We talked about all those athletes and how they
yeah.
all go, how a lot of them go broke because they blow it on cars and women and all these failed businesses and stuff.
I don't remember his name today, but I remember, I want to say it was 1986. I asked my dad because we had the newspaper, and there was a baseball pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. He made $5.2 million a year, and he was filing bankruptcy. And I asked my dad how it's possible to make $5 million a year and file bankruptcy. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's like fucking most people don't make $30,000 a year at that time. So how's a guy making $5 million a year? How's he filing bankruptcy?
Oh, that's nothing. I mean, Mike Tyson made over 300 million in his career, and he's broke.
Oh yeah, but for whatever reason, I was only 15, 16 at the time, and I just couldn't imagine how you could
Yeah.
have $5 million and have to file bankruptcy.
Yeah, and so, there are guys. Antoine Walker, he was a basketball player. He made over 100 million broke. Evander Holyfield's made tens of millions broke. Was it John Kruk? No, I'm sorry. It's a guy that played for the Phillies, not Kruk. Crap. Schilling,
Schilling, yeah.
Kurt Schilling. He's broke.
Well, do you know another one that have you watched the new George Foreman movie?
No, I thought about maybe seeing that. It looked like it might be interesting.
I watched that a couple weeks ago. He went broke. His money manager got rid of all of his money, and that's why he came back to boxing in the 90s, because he was broke.
It doesn't surprise me. Well, he kind of got resurrected through his little grills when I've got in there in the kitchen.
And he, like 10 years ago, it said he sold the George Foreman grill for $137 million.
Damn.
He sold all the rights to it. I don't know who owns it now, but yeah, he said that wasn't a bad little venture. And at the time, he said, it's kind of funny. They're doing a George Foreman grill, healthy grill for a fat guy. A fat guy sponsoring a healthy grill, and. But George Foreman, that always bothered me because I was a kid at that time, and when he quit boxing to become a preacher, it was like he was on top of the world. All he had to do was fight Norton, and he would have beat Norton. If he would have beat Norton, Ali went to him and told him, "You beat Norton, I give you a second chance. We fight again, you're going to be loaded, and it'll be in the States this time." And he said, "No." He said, "I found the Lord. I'm not going to box anymore." And to me, it was just weird that how could you be a boxer making that kind of money and just give it up to go to be a preacher? And
Well, what's his name? That Filipino boxer, crap, the one that was always the one that was fighting Mayweather.
Pascal or
Pacquiao. Pacquiao.
Yeah,
He became a preacher back in the Philippines.
yeah.
Well, now I don't know if didn't Norton beat Ali?
Yeah, that's why Ali wanted. Ali was begging for Foreman because he's like, "I can't beat him. I need you to beat him, George. I'd rather fight you than fight Norton." And that's what it was. Because Ali could not beat Norton for whatever reason. Norton had his number.
Yeah. Yes, I grew up with Tyson. I was always a big Tyson fan.
And my buddy that I grew up with was a huge Larry Holmes fan, and I'm like, he didn't fight nobody. And my buddy always said, "Well, he beat Ali. Ali was broken down. Ali
Yeah,
was
I say
time. That don't count,
Yeah. Ali was past his heyday.
When Tex Cobb is one of the best fighters you fought as a heavyweight champion, you're not really a heavyweight champion,
Yeah. I grew up. Like I said, that was my favorite. That was when I really followed boxing a lot. Even as a little kid, because when I was a kid, I loved ABC's Wide World of Sports on Saturdays. Or is it Saturdays or Sundays? I can't remember. But
Sunday afternoon about 2:00. Wide World of Sports.
And the damnedest thing is that I always watched Wide World Sports every week, even though there were some weeks they show like bowling and like downhill skiing. They showed they showed sports that you wouldn't even dream of sitting down and watching. And I would just watch them and I'd listen to Howard Cosell talk. It's like, this is awesome. And like I say, but I remember they did a lot of boxing. This was back in the Sugar Ray Leonard and
now. Do you remember?
Hagler?
Did you watch the Boom Boom Mancini fight when he killed Kim Duck Soo or Kim Duck?
I don't think I saw that fight.
That was in the 80s. That was on Wide World of Sports.
I might have, if it was on Wide World of Sports, I probably did see it. I just might not remember it. But I remember they did show quite a bit of boxing on Wide World of Sports, so there's a good chance I might have seen it. But keep in mind, I probably would have been like 6 or 7 at the time, so there's a good chance I wouldn't remember.
I'll tell you the fight I missed, and it pissed me off. I was in the Marine Corps at the time. Mike Tyson Douglas, because we're all like, fuck, we're not going to pay this. We paid $60 so many times to watch Tyson win a first-round knockout. It's like, fuck, I ain't going to watch him beat up Douglas, man. That's just going to be over before we even get... And I woke up the next day and found out that Tyson lost, and it's like, what the hell?
Last thing, nobody watched because they just assumed... But you got to figure, Buster... Well, first of all, Buster Douglas never really had a prime, but... But even when he was at what you would call a prime, he was no match for. It just so happened it was kind of the perfect storm because his mom had just died, and Tyson had the most inept corner of any any boxer I've ever heard of. I mean, if you remember the fight, they had a fucking condom full of water where they should be using the end swill. And I'm like, what? Why is he paying these fools? I mean, you might as well just grab somebody out of the audience. They can do just as good a job.
Though, he never needed them until that fight.
Yeah.
Because he always went out, boom, 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 it's over, we'll go home, no big deal, you know? I mean, but when he actually needed the corner wasn't there for him. They just, you know, they're a bunch of bums. And
well, that Buster Douglas was the first fight I saw that the Mike Tyson's opponent looked in his eyes and was not afraid.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching, like, I still remember when he won the title from Trevor Berbick. I remember when they were looking, Trevor Berbick, he looked like he was going to shit his fucking pants looking at whenever the referee was, touch him up. I mean, this guy looked like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, he was beat when the referee was giving the instructions. He knew his ass was getting whooped.
Yeah, he looked like a man that just did not want to be there. He knew what was coming. And same way with when he fought Spinks, Michael Spinks.
Spinks.
These guys just like they don't want any part of Tyson. I can't exactly blame them.
I think Spinks just took the fight for the money.
Oh, I guarantee.
All it was the money. He knew he wasn't going to win. He just wanted one last paycheck.
Well, I tell Mike Tyson can whoop me for a few million.
Oh yeah, I mean I can run around the ring for 90 seconds and hold on as well as the other ones.
If you need me, I'll just be in the corner.
Yeah.
Just don't bruise me up too bad.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let me I'm gonna get off here for about 5 minutes. Go get me a quick bite to eat. See if Joey gets back.
Actually, I'm gonna get off of here tonight. Are you gonna be around tomorrow?
Yeah, I might be able. I should be able. You can drop me a line. And
I'm gonna work up a game for tomorrow. I got some things I got to do, but
okay.
I wasn't planning on being on very late tonight. And
yeah. Well, I wouldn't give me too much wrong, but I heard Joey said he might come back. But yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up and maybe be back tomorrow.
All right, guys out there, we'll be back tomorrow night, probably 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. So let me hit end on this.
Go Blue.